Still watching Breakfast Central. Let's take you down now to Nigeria, where the University of Ilorin in southwest Nigeria has expelled a final year student who goes by the name of Salaudeen Waliyu Ananuola for beating up a lecturer. This incident occurred on Thursday, 11th of November, as Salaudeen, a student of the Department of Microbiology, before his expulsion, had beaten his female lecturer, Mrs. Ramat Zakariyah, to a coma. Now, according to reports, the student was alleged to have attacked the lecturer in her office because she refused to help him over his failure to do the mandatory student institutional work scheme.
Now, yesterday, the school announced its expulsion of the student, adding that he has 48 days to appeal against the verdict to the Vice-Chancellor in case he feels dissatisfied with the decision. We have joining us this morning Akinkunmi Olawoyin, who is a former student union president at the Obafemi Awolowo University. We also have Chidi Elogebe, who was the former NAS president and also special advisor on student affairs to Enugu State government. Welcome to the program, gentlemen. Now, you guys, you saw the news. What do you think about the school's resolve for expulsion? Let me start with you, Akinkunmi. Akinkunmi, I beg your pardon.
From beating the lecturer by the students is condemnable, and it stands condemned. Looking at the video itself, it raises a whole lot of questions, which in the course of the interview we will attempt to to raise them and possibly provide some answers. Just as I said, it stands condemned, irrespective of what may have provoked the students. Aside the fact that beating a person, whether you're a student or you're a lecturer, constitutes an act of violence which could actually have resulted into death. And beyond that, beyond the questions of the university having the opportunity to use the internal mechanism to adjudicate on the case, it is also a question that raises that borders on crime, so to say. But beyond that, just as we said, this has brought out some fundamental things about the way the universities are being run, about the power relations between students and lecturers, students and university authorities, which need to be reviewed as a whole as society progresses. So the question of the expulsion, one wouldn't have expected anything different from what the university had gone ahead to do. It's somebody dismissal. I know that he has the opportunity to appeal against the decisions of the university, but one would have expected that before the expulsion, despite the fact that there are overwhelming evidence of the act, which was caught on video, the university would have still gone through the normal process of establishing a fact-finding panel or disciplinary panel, so that all these issues will also be tabled. The university can benefit from all the points, the issues that are to be raised at such panels. So that's my opinion on that. Thanks so much.
All right, Akinkunmi, you are a former student union president yourself, and I'm sure in your time you've witnessed quite a bit of it with Nigerian universities in terms of violence. So would you say that universities, are they doing enough to curb, this level of violence among students and lecturers, that power dynamic? Must everything turn into a bloodbath, so to speak?
Just as I said, the Nigerian university system still operates in the maybe 20th century. You have a situation whereby the power relations between lecturers and students are that of masters and state, can be akin to that of master-slave relationship. Same thing between students and university authorities. I I'll give you some examples. Just a few days ago, you saw in a secondary school in Ghana, our neighbors here in Ghana, a secondary school where election for the post of senior prefects were being conducted in an extremely civil manner. Students lined up, maybe it was an open ballot system, they lined up. One got extremely encouraged. And I must salute the authorities in Ghana for going to, that far. At a secondary school level, shall I tell you today that at university levels, students still don't have opportunity of electing their leaders? At the slightest provocation, university authorities suspend and proscribe student union, denying students their inalienable rights to, elect peaceful assembly and elect their leaders.
All right, Akikumbi, we also have Chidi Ilogebe, who is a former NAS president and also special advisor student affairs to Enugu State Governor. Now, Chidi, I would want to also ask you the same question that we've asked Akikumbi, which is, are universities really doing enough to curb unruliness among students? But before Chidi, I think we've just lost Chidi once again. Let me come back to Akikumbi. Akikumbi, as I said yesterday, ASU issued a statement. Clearly, we saw that coming, and they stated that it is waiting on what the university management is going to do before it takes its own action or before it makes a decision on this matter. Now that the school has expelled Salaudeen, what do you think should ASU's next move be?
Of course, ASU is a union of lecturers, and every union, it's a pressure group that aggregates the interests and articulate the interests of its members and defends them. So ASU is just doing the right thing. If a student is assaulted, I'd expected the student union of any university to do what ASU just did, to say that we are waiting on the university authority to see the kind of actions you are going to take before we then, roll out our own action. So ASU is just being, doing its best, what is expected of it to do. But beyond this, we know ASU as a progressive union. ASU stands for the interest of not just its members, but they have had opportunity. We have had, records of ASU defending other workers in the university system, defending students. The person that is speaking with you today, my humble self, I'm also a beneficiary of the progressive actions of Academic Staff Union of University. So we know that it's a progressive union, it's a good union that has defended its, members. What we are only saying is that we should not personalize the issue. The issue gives us the opportunity of looking holistically about the university system, about the power relations, about some lecturers who who are not going to be backed by ASU, who are just sadistic, who turn themselves to demigods, who look down on students. These are things that ASU have always fought against in the past, that there are laid down rules and regulations which, parties who have grievances can approach to seek redress. So students should, be given the opportunity, not just given the opportunity, they should be assured that even if they go through this process, they will not still be victimized. So these are the things that we expect everybody, including the students' union in University of Ilorin, who should also be speaking at this time, not unnecessarily defending their member who assaulted a lecturer, but raising other important issues about power relations in the university, about the opportunity for democratic student unionism, about the opportunity for students to seek redress without any fear of being victimized.
Akinkumi, fair point about democratic student unionism, but this is assault we're talking about. This might beyond university four walls, which, like you said, power relations has to be addressed in terms of, because in the first place, it's supposed to be academic and not brutal. We're talking about criminal proceedings that might even follow for this young man, Salaudeen. But what next for such a student? Expulsion and criminal charges. Where does he go from here? Where does university go from here about his case? Because it's still the future of this, this young man is still, perhaps up in smokes.
just as I said, it's unfortunate how the event, turned out. There is little that is left for some form of defense for Salahuddin. If I were in his shoes, I wouldn't have taken, that course of action. I've been victimized before. My certificate withheld. I was suspended for leading students in struggle against increase in fees. I was reinstated. I was later expelled from the university, for protesting. I was later reinstated. I finished my university program. My certificate was denied. It was withheld for years before student fought and my certificate was released. So I've also gone through all this in the university system, but never did we resort to physical violence against even the objects, those who are victimizing us. We used all the legal avenues. I will borrow the words of Justice Obaseki in that celebrated case of Gaba Amuda versus University of Maiduguri, that a university student is a priceless asset and is on the threshold of service to the nation. And the courts will not like to, destroy the life of a university student on just mere allegation, except it is proven beyond reasonable doubt that that individual has actually, committed an offense. In this case, it was seen on the video. What we can easily say is that whether he still has the opportunity of appealing, whether the university authority can still, consider all the other factors surrounding his behavior, if it's just an isolated behavior, rather than destroy him and tell him to go and unleash him on the society, he can still be redeemed. There are different ways by which the university can still consider holistically. But the first act, which they did, is question of summary dismissal. They also said he has the opportunity of, appealing.
All right.
So I will suggest he get a good lawyer, not just mere appeal, a good lawyer wording it, well, and appealing to the university authority for a second chance.
All right. Well
Thank
said.
you so much. Well said, Akikumi Olawi, former student union president at the University of Obafemi Awolowo University. Thank you so much for your thoughts, your contribution, and your side of the story. Thank you for joining.